Hi, this is Kathy Opperman, and we are live here at R3 Wellness Center in Collegeville for the 6th episode of Journey with Lisa. So, Lisa, can you believe we're starting week 6?
No.
And I'm so excited to hear how you're doing. I do have the numbers. I know you didn't see them. We'll reveal them later. You may recognize Wendy Dickerman. Welcome back, Wendy.
Thank you.
Wendy is here to evaluate Lisa's diet for the past week. We asked Lisa to write everything down, and she's going to give some nutrition advice to Lisa to see how you're doing with your choices and see if we can make anything better, or we certainly don't want to make them worse, right? No. So tell us, how's the week been going?
Good. Very good.
So you had a challenge last week.
Yes.
And the challenge was to
walk.
How many times?
I committed. You asked me to walk 3 times.
Yes.
Committed to 4.
Yes.
And I did 5.
5 times. How about a round of applause? Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like I think Joanne and Linda said on the first show, it's addicting. And, it's kind of like at night, I walk 5 times.
So after dinner, is that when you're walking?
No,
like, what
I like
time
going
do you like
out
to go?
later, like between 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay.
And I enjoy it. I noticed I am sleeping pretty much all through the night now.
Good.
Yeah, it's
You were having trouble sleeping before?
Yes.
Okay. So now you walk, and I know you were only going to start maybe a quarter of a mile.
Correct. I started at a quarter.
Okay.
I walk, and then every now and then, I'll glance. I'm using Map My Walk.
Mm-hmm.
And last night I did hill walking, and I did, I think, 0.40.
0.4. That's almost a half a
my
mile
half.
already.
Yeah.
That is excellent. Excellent. So that app that we had recommended to use is called Map My Walk, and it is a very, very simple app to use. And I use that too. So 5 times.
5 times.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Very good. So let's talk about things that you ate. What did you do differently, if anything? Did you personally change anything up? Like, I know you were going to experiment.
I did. I wanted to, for myself, experiment. I did add some carbs into my my diet this week. I did like an English muffin. I did a bagel thin, the multi-grain bagel thin. We went to Starbucks this week for lunch. I did eat off of what they call their healthy menu, under 400 calories. But I treated myself to a treat, not because I was craving. I just wanted to try. And tucked away in the corner was a flourless chocolate chewy cookie.
Ooh.
And it was 120 calories. I'm going to try to Google a recipe for it because it was not very sweet. It was actually very good. And because I haven't had a cookie or junk food or a snack like that in over a month, I savored it like the whole afternoon.
So you ate it like not all at once.
Correct.
You ate it for the afternoon. Okay. And it tasted yummy, and it satisfied your
chocolate
cravings?
And I really wasn't having a craving. They were advertising for these oat bars, and that's what I wanted, but they were sold out. So since I already had that thing, like a treat, tucked in the corner, there was, I guess they put all the bad stuff up front. But so I did that. I did experiment last week. We talked about, a little bit more my meat and protein.
Mm-hmm.
So I did have some turkey sausage. I did have some bacon. I did have an egg. So I am nervous branching out because I have been keeping to the same thing. But I wanted to try to incorporate different foods.
Okay. And you're nervous about what, that you gained?
Well, to see if, I feel good. My clothes are obviously getting much looser. But it was weird incorporating, like, the bread. Like that, well, if you want to call it bread.
Did you feel that was a bad thing to do?
No, but I had cut it, like, out pretty much, so I wanted to try to see. I definitely noticed a difference when you incorporate that bread as part of your breakfast. Like, if you have, like, the egg on the English muffin.
Right.
I did notice that it's kind of like, a little bbit more hungrier sooner.
You were hungry sooner. So what did you do? So tell us what you had. You had a scrambled eggs, a fried egg.
One day I did a fried egg with a slice of Swiss cheese, slice of bacon on an English muffin. One day I did it on a bagel thin, but with bacon. Okay. And like a couple hours later, I was like hungry. Not very hungry, but it was like, okay, I need something.
Can you talk about that, Wendy? What bread does and why you get hungry? That whole mechanism.
Well, bread is a carbohydrate, and so carbohydrate converts to sugar much more easily in your body than a protein or a fat would, because those usually take longer to break down, and then usually they go to storage either in your muscles or in your fat tissues, whereas the more simple carbohydrates, or like bread, pasta, rice, even fruits, I mean, they're an instant sugar for you, and they're used for energy in your body immediately, and that's what makes your blood sugar go up. That's why diabetics have to watch their carbohydrate intake and how much they have at one time, and what type of carbohydrate they eat. But I did notice you said with the bagel thin, first of all, those bagel thins are 100 calories, right? And you chose the whole grain one. What about the English muffin?
The English muffin was wheat.
Was wheat also, okay.
I don't recall if they were the light one or not. I honestly don't remember.
Okay. Right. What you're looking at there is a fiber difference, because if you're looking at a white product versus a whole grain product, which would be wheat, rye, pumpernickel, you're looking at the fiber. Fiber makes the sugar wait longer to convert, makes the carbohydrate wait longer to convert to sugar. So that's why if you're diabetic and you eat something like a piece of white bread or white pasta, your sugar goes sky high when you do a blood sugar check. Whereas fiber delays the breakdown of the carbohydrate into sugar. So it slowly releases it into your blood instead of like a sugar rush. So actually choosing a high fiber product is much better for you when you're adding carbohydrates back into your diet. Were you like basing this off of like a South Beach diet, or?
No, it was just my own. I have been, the past couple weeks, just like with the veggies, the salad, the chicken. So I just, for my own mental psyche, wanted to see how I felt incorporating those back in, because that was a big part of my thing, was the bread, the pasta, the carbs. So I wanted to see how I felt incorporating them in.
And so how you felt was you got hungrier faster.
I did.
So what happened
was... A little,
was,
sluggish.
That sugar, so that it converted to sugar, and then, so you used it up, and then it makes you hungry again? Is that what happens with it?
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't make a ton of sense when I'm looking at what you ate, because you ate egg and you ate turkey sausage or bacon with it too. So when you're adding a fat as well, I mean, you're delaying that changeover as well.
Unless, is it possible that some people just because you have that carbohydrate or that bread or that muffin in there, that it can accelerate? Does it depend on our physiology sometimes?
I think a lot of it is more your psyche. Because you had, does that make sense?
It does.
Because you're like, oh, I had that, I want more. And it makes your mind makes your body feel hungry.
Okay.
If that makes any sense, that can happen.
Okay.
Also, what time were you eating this?
It depends. Like, I'm trying to eat just when I'm hungry. I'm not doing the every 2 hours. I don't need to do that anymore.
Okay.
So sometimes I would eat at usually when I first get up, I have my smoothie. But sometimes I would eat my breakfast, or sometimes I'd wait till I got to work at like 8:30. Sometimes it was later.
What time do you get up?
Depends. Usually I'm up about 6.
About 6. Okay, and so you're talking about not eating until
like 8:30.
But do you have your smoothie?
Yes.
What time? That's eating. So what time are you eating that?
My smoothie?
Yeah.
That's before I walk out the door every day. So like 6:45, maybe a little later.
6:45 or 6:45?
6:45. I'm sorry.
6:45. Okay.
6:45.
And what goes in your smoothie?
It depends. I use a spinach, or I have tried kale, avocado.
You've tried it.
I've tried it. My avocado, if I use my avocado, I don't use my banana.
You're using banana or avocado for the fat.
I use my almond milk. I have, this past week, I kicked it up a little bit to make it a little thicker with some oatmeal that you had told me about, the oatmeal. And then it depends. Sometimes I put strawberries in, sometimes blueberries. It's just whatever fruit is in the refrigerator goes in.
Perfect.
Do you find you get hungry after the oatmeal? Because that's a grain too, right? It's a good grain, but it's still...
And it's a whole grain.
And it's a whole grain, so it's a good grain to do.
It actually, you really feel like you're, when you put the oatmeal in, it's a thicker consistency. And at first I didn't think I'd like it, like, oh, drinking paste. But it does fill you up. And I'm not even using a full serving of it.
So that is your breakfast. But then you're saying you're eating another breakfast or a sandwich when?
Like 2 hours later.
Okay.
So then on the day that you had the English muffin, when you felt hungry again sooner, is that the day that you used the avocado in there?
I don't know, because my smoothies are, I didn't put them on the list because they're a staple. I have one in the morning and I have one at night. That's like my nighttime snack now. So they're like they're like my staple, so I didn't put that on there because that's a given. The other thing, as we're talking, sometimes at night I don't always eat a very good dinner.
Yes, tell us about when we were talking yesterday. What did you eat yesterday for dinner, Lisa?
Wait, let me finish. I think what I'm thinking is if I'm not eating that good, healthy dinner, could it be that like maybe that's why I'm hungry? I'm going to track that this week. Okay. Because of my busy lifestyle, like this evening, my dinner tonight was a protein bar.
A protein bar again.
Again.
Why is a protein bar not a good dinner choice, Wendy? I mean, she thinks she's doing good because it's protein, it's high protein.
And it's easy.
Go easy on me. I heard it from Kathy last night.
This is great instant energy and it's healthy, and they show all these athletic people eating protein bars, but it's really just another processed food.
And why are processed foods not good for you?
Well, the more you process a food, the less natural it is, and the less your body knows what to do with it.
Okay.
I mean, the more natural a food, the more your body knows what to do with it. Scientists are still studying why vitamin C from an apple is so much more absorbable than a vitamin C vitamin.
Supplement, yeah.
A supplement, yeah, it's true, because there's so many compounds that aren't even studied yet that are all incorporated in that apple. So it's remarkable.
And I think, too, at the stage where I'm at, grabbing that protein bar in my head, I'm not setting myself, because I always have them on hand, I'm not setting myself up to, now it's going to be that time I go to McDonald's. Do you know what I mean?
So it's a better choice than fast food.
Do you have one day of the week that you're not crazy, busy, hectic?
Sometimes.
Like for me, it's a Sunday. Because I work a lot of Saturdays, but I usually have Sunday off. So I will cook a boatload of stuff on Sunday and then be able to eat it through the week. I'll grill 8 chicken breasts on the grill. I'll cook a pot of beets, a pot of corn. And these are things that I can just grab easily out of the refrigerator to take on the go. And fruits are a good, easy thing to grab on the go, especially things like an apple or an orange, because they don't get mushed in your purse or your car. Bananas do. And grapes, not good travel companions. But I mean, if you were able to do something like that, the other thing I do is I have children, and my children don't eat fruits and vegetables unless I cut them, and they're waiting for them in the refrigerator, all perfectly
You're such
prepared.
a good mom.
But I mean, I find if I slice up peppers and slice up strawberries, they're more likely to grab them. So I do that the one day of the week. What you could do instead of a protein bar is if you grilled a bunch of chicken, you sliced up some peppers, maybe throw some grape tomatoes in or something, put it in a Ziploc bag, and grab that out instead of the protein bar. So you've got your protein.
The chicken strips.
Yeah.
So grill them. Richie is your cook. Richie is your cook.
And he's doing that now.
Yeah, have him grill it up with some nice spices on it.
Marinated in some like light Italian dressing or something.
Because you can eat that cold. You don't have to heat it up. You can grab it in the car, some carrots.
Right, and there's a more natural protein source. Even things like chickpeas, believe it or not. Have you tried them?
I do. They're in hummus.
Yes.
I do my hummus, like with my vegetables.
And there's an awesome protein source with tons of fiber as well.
Is it protein or is that a carbohydrate, chickpeas?
Yes.
yes, it's both.
Yes, and yes.
Okay, all right. So you can't do, I read like a warning thing, don't eat too much hummus, because you can sit there, I can eat a whole half a container and then I'll look at the calories. Talk about serving size and calories. How you been doing with that, with your labels?
Very, very good.
Labels, I was gonna say
like Rich, we're like label freaks.
Okay.
And the serving size, what I've been doing is, like when I have my hummus, I measure it out and the lid goes on and it goes back.
Perfect.
Good job.
I did also have some frozen yogurt this week. I think I picked a good brand. It was mint chocolate chip frozen yogurt. It called for, serving was half a cup. I did not have a half a cup because when I scooped it out, in my head, I thought, okay, ice cream was one of my addictions. I'm going to go less than the half a cup, so if I felt that urge, I knew I still had a little bit left that I could have.
It's really good. Thank you.
Yeah, and like Rich this week with your potatoes from last week, he made
I brought in a big 10-pound thing of potatoes to show her that she lost 11 pounds. I said, hold this. 10 pounds. You were carrying
It's
that around with you.
And he made potato salad, and like that's one of our weaknesses, nice and fattening. So I said I wanted to try some, and he put the scoop on my plate, and then like put it away, and that was it.
Portion control. So you really are doing
I'm really
portion
practicing
control.
my portion control.
Good.
And did you taste it and savor it and enjoy it?
I did, and then
Food
it
is
was
to
like,
be enjoyed.
It really like like today. Here's the funny at work. I walk in the kitchen to get my coffee, and someone didn't know I was doing this journey, and he had a bagel, Dunkin' Donut bagel. Do you want a bagel with some cream cheese? And I'm like, how dare you? And as the other girl turned around, I guess because the way I said it, she was eating a chocolate tasty cake cupcake. I'm like, this is just bad news in here. So it was kind of funny, but I can walk away from those things now.
Good.
But I also know that if I want them, I'm at the point where I can control it. But I don't really want them because I want to continue to lose weight.
Good for you. Good for you. Were there any questions from the audience on nutrition, since we have Wendy here to ask about any particular things that you might be wondering, or maybe in the chat room if you're wondering about whether something is nutritious or not? I just posted on our we have something? Yes, question.
Question from Kim. Would it help Lisa to have a glycemic index chart to use when choosing fruits and veggies?
Would you like to talk about that? What is a glycemic index chart?
Well, look, the glycemic index is it's a measure of how fast a food raises your blood sugar.
Okay.
And it has, unfortunately, been deemed to be not as reliable as initially indicated, and we don't use it in, as a registered dietitian, we don't use that in counseling our patients at all.
And so,
Like
when it
carrots,
raises if it raises your
high
blood
on the
sugar,
glycemic index, and carrots are excellent for you. They're high in fiber, and so
you don't want to avoid carrots, even if they're
Right.
high in, because it's a different kind of sugar, right? Isn't that
Right.
what it's about? It's not the same kind of sugar that's in a processed food.
correct. Yeah, and so that's where I think the glycemic index probably would not be something good for you. You're not diabetic, first of all.
Correct.
And second of all, you are choosing good carbohydrates when you're eating carbohydrates. You're choosing fruits, and you're choosing high whole grain breads.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do too much fruit?
You can, particularly if you're diabetic.
Okay.
You can do too much fruit. I know people say, well, all I had was some grapes. Well, how many grapes did you have? The bag.
The whole bag.
No. A serving size is 15 grapes. Well, that equals 1 serving of carbohydrates.
Okay.
So if you're diabetic, you have to count your carbohydrates to see how much your blood sugar goes up. But if you're not diabetic and you're watching your intake, you should also watch those serving sizes. And
So if you're doing it for weight loss, you also don't want to eat a whole bag of grapes, even though you think, oh, grapes are good.
grapes are good. They're a fruit. They're low calorie. But
Right.
yeah.
Okay. What you had another question? You were going to say something?
On some of the things that I'm buying, what is invert sugar?
Invert sugar?
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of that.
I'm not sure. I would have to look it up and get back to you.
Okay. I just, in reading the labels,
Mhm.
I'm not just looking at the trans fats, the saturated. I'm
Not
actually
like a sugar alcohol?
I'm wondering if that's what it is, because I'm
Invert
actually reading what's in there.
Is this on a protein bar? Maybe it's on there.
I don't know. I can't remember, but I saw it. It probably is, but I know I saw
What
it.
is sugar alcohol, Wendy?
It's just a breakdown of how sugars break down. It's like mannitol, sorbitol.
They're artificial. Right.
Yes.
They're artificial. Some people have stomach issues with sorbitol. I know
Mhm.
I can't do sorbitol. It really just messes my stomach
Right.
up.
Anything you see, the OL is a sugar alcohol. And it takes more of those to equal a gram of sugar than a gram of sugar.
So they are artificial. They're the choice when someone is diabetic. They might
Right.
They
And
might use
in
them.
excess, they can cause a lot of gastrointestinal distress and diarrhea. It's not fun.
not to
Sugar-free
think.
candy, no good.
So you looked at
Oh,
the
yeah.
diet log that Lisa did this week. What kind of suggestions would you have for her, or
I did.
questions based on what she ate? And then we're going to reveal your changes for the week, your inches and your weight
Excellent.
after you hear. So
Well, looking at it, it's not a very complete list that I got. It would be really great if you could break down.
I do have a full tracker.
Oh, good.
That's
What time you woke up, when you first
Okay.
ate, and portion sizes, like instead of salad or meatballs. How many? What size? Were they like the big, huge restaurant meatballs, or the Italian wedding soup meatballs?
Okay, so get more detailed on my list.
More detail would be very, very helpful. And the times of and spacing out of when you ate the different things would be very helpful.
And is that important when we're eating throughout the day? Because I know when Linda was here after her weight loss surgery, they said she must eat 6 small meals a day. Now that has to do a lot with her size of her stomach.
Correct.
But then also we've heard from other people that that's the way we should all be eating, 6 small meals a day. What do you think about that?
The benefits of eating small meals throughout the day are that you never get so ravenously hungry that you overeat when you finally do get to eat. Because I don't know how many of you have had that happen. I'm guilty. I mean, I missed lunch, I get home, it's dinner time, I eat so much, then, oh gosh, I'm so full. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I had eaten something at lunch or maybe a snack in between, then I don't get that hungry that you tend to eat faster. The other thing with bariatric surgery is you need to take your time eating and chew your foods really well. That's a really good step for any weight loss, because if you chew your food 20, 30 times each bite, it takes you so long to eat that it gives your brain time to realize, oh, I'm full. Instead of, when you eat really fast, you're not full until all of a sudden you've eaten too much.
Right, and it slows you down. Mm-hmm. So you enjoy the food, but it also may...
I have since I started this.
Good.
I am eating slower.
Good. That really helps, because I know that time is something you're very limited on. So people are like, oh, I have to eat real fast. I'm on the go. And we're so busy these days. It gets crazy. But definitely with that, where were you with the... Okay, so you said the bariatric surgery, the small meals.
Right.
So, yeah, it keeps you from getting too hungry. What else? There was something else in there I thought you said.
Whether we could all benefit. It has to do with our metabolism. Eating those 6 small meals a day helps with your metabolism better, or is that a myth?
That I don't know that is a truth.
Okay.
What does help with your metabolism is eating breakfast. Eating within 2 hours of waking up and eating at least 300 calories. And that kickstarts your metabolism. That goes back to the caveman days of when they didn't eat for days at a time. Then say it was winter, there were no berries, they'd have to wait to kill a woolly mammoth, and then they wouldn't eat for another 5 days. And so what happens is their metabolism slows down. It's a conservation mode. I don't know when I'm going to get to eat next, so I better slow down and conserve. Whereas if you get your body used to eating every morning within 2 hours of waking up, it says, all right, time to get going, and actually raises your metabolism. If you're a chronic dieter and you've dieted back and forth your whole life and yo-yoed, it takes a long time to get that metabolism back in order, unfortunately, but it will happen.
So you should have the smoothie and the breakfast sandwich together. Although that might be a lot of calories.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle there's a space in between.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you don't want to do it with the cheese and the turkey sausage and the egg and the bread. That's
that
got to be 500 calories.
See what went into your shake if it was 300 calories.
Well, it's unsweetened almond milk. It's a handful of spinach, chia seeds.
Oh, yes, I forgot them. They're my staple, yes.
Those help keep you full longer
and
as
I
well.
don't use the oatmeal all the time. I use that at night.
Okay.
So that's maybe I incorporate that in the morning to make it a little...
And the banana. Do you put some berries in there, too?
Do you use a whole banana?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm down to 1 banana.
So you could be getting
closer. You could be getting,
that smoothie's about 300 calories. If you increase the chia seeds, that may fill you up longer and may not have to do that breakfast sandwich till lunchtime.
Okay.
Good. Anything else to jump out before we go?
Anything else to jump out? I would just need more thorough information.
Okay.
But other than that, I think
are there any
any
bad choices on there?
Well, we talked about the protein bar.
Anything else you want to say about your protein bar?
Yes. I was reading Dale's book.
Yes? What book is that, for those who haven't heard?
Dale is on, he's very supportive of me on our Facebook page, Journey with Lisa. Mm-hmm. And in reading his book, I can't get the title right, 60 Insects, he talks to you in that book. And one of the things that he had learned, I don't know if it's one of his Dale-isms or if someone taught him, KISS, which was keep it
simple, stupid.
Simple, stupid. And I say, keep it simple, sister. So I'm trying to keep it simple till I can get my weight under control. And, maybe when I'm down my 60, 70 pounds, then I start my, I'll try to give up the protein bar. I gave up my brownie bites, but trying to keep it simple rather than set myself up for a failure.
And the simple could be the chicken breast, though. Does that sound simple for you?
Yes,
it's just a better choice because your body knows what to do with it, and when your body doesn't know what to do with it and it's processed, that doesn't help weight loss.
It really doesn't, no.
I'm concerned that you're working against yourself with the processed food.
But can I say you're doing a lot of really, really good things. I see a lot more fruits and vegetables in your diet.
Yes.
And I think that is huge. I see nuts for snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And for anybody out there who's trying to lose weight, instead of adding nuts to your current diet, maybe replace the nuts with something you would have eaten because they are high in calories and fat, but also high in protein and fiber.
The nuts count as a snack. It's either the almonds or a little bit of the trail mix.
Yeah, but they're wonderful and they're healthy and they're natural, so your body knows what to do with them. I noticed that you've added yogurt in. Can you say yogurt now?
Yogurt? How do you say?
Oh, everybody picks on me. Yogurt.
Yogurt. It was yogurt. You're doing good. You're doing good.
So, and you're eating multiple times through the day, so you're doing a lot of great things. And congratulations, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Thank you.
We're ready to do our reveal for the week. So Lisa was measured, and she has, let's do your inches. So you have come down 1.5 inches in your waist.
Okay.
From last week, from just 7 days ago, which is excellent. 1 inch in your hips. Somebody keep track of this. 1.5, 2.5 inches. And in your leg, we've been measuring your one thigh, another inch in your thigh. So that is 1.5 to 3 inches in a week, which is absolutely excellent. Excellent. So that you were 27.5, and what did I just say? What was that? 27.5 and 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, over 30 inches, 31 inches. I have to do my math on the spot. How about that? Round of applause.
I'm proud of me.
Keep that up.
Your weight last week, we did reveal, was 226.8 pounds, and this week you are down to 225.6, so 1.2 pounds in a week. You're on the right direction, going down.
Over 12 pounds.
So over 12 pounds. So is that a good weight loss in 5 weeks? 5 weeks time. So what is that? 5 times 7, 35 days.
We recommend 1 to 2 pounds per week.
Okay,
so
she's right on track.
Right on track.
Right on track. So any other questions in the chat room for Wendy? We do have a question.
There was regarding the glycemic index chart. The comment was that it's a blend of glucose and fructose, correct?
Glucose and fructose,
yes.
Which is fruit sugar.
Right. And then Barbara and Lynn, your sister, say you look great and doing well.
Oh, you are doing well.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so sweet, so sweet. Thank you for all the support. Any other questions for our registered dietitian with Wendy? So Wendy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Doing good, doing good. Thank you. So the next part of our show, we have our life coach, Deb Trey, is going to join us, and you're all going to get to meet Lisa's mom, and we have a very interesting topic. So I would like to ask Eileen and Lisa to please join us.
Me, Deb.
Oh, Lisa is here. Deb, I'm so sorry. Okay. Hello. Hello. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so we have some questions, and we have some topic that we're going to talk about. When we started this journey, Eileen, Lisa's mom, who I think looks like Lisa's sister, you guys look so wonderful, she came up to me and she said, Kathy, for years I've been concerned about Lisa and trying to get her to lose weight, and I'm so grateful that she's doing this journey and, you know, that we're helping here at the Wellness Center to do it. And you know, we were thinking about it, and Lisa's like, yeah, she's been bothering me for years. I know. So I thought tonight would be a good episode to have Deb Trey, our life coach, on, and to talk about the feelings that we have when we, either as family members or as friends, we see someone in need, whether it's weight loss, whether it's an addiction of any kind, whether it's smoking, whether it's a drug addiction. When you see a family member or a friend who you know is doing something that's not as good for their health, like, what does that feel like and how frustrating is it? And then the other side of it is, how does it feel to be nagged as the person who's like, I know I should do it, I'm not ready, I know. And we're going to talk about maybe some better communication and better ideas to help not just Eileen's happy now, Eileen and Lisa, but to help those of us who struggle with that a lot in our family and with our friendships. So, Eileen, how does it feel to see someone who you feel should be doing something more healthy? What did it feel like to you?
Well, it was frustrating, and as a mother, I just wanted to get that magic wand and wave over. And I would call her and I'd say, "Oh, Lisa, Channel 12 is having this show on," and she would go and buy the book, and she would yes me to death. And finally I said, I made plenty of novenas. I said, I have to let go and let God.
Let go and let God.
And I had to chuckle when she said that she realized she had to lose weight when she saw the video. And I said to her, your sister got married like 7 months ago. You didn't see her something pictures then, like, hello, wake up.
And how do you feel when she said that kind of stuff? How does it feel? Let's talk about the raw feelings.
I think when you are in that pit of depression, anxiety, nobody knows how you feel but you. And here's someone who, lucky for you, my mom has always been a health nut, has taken excellent care of herself. So she's never had to struggle with her weight. And to me, that was like one of my inner demons, this obsession with food so it's kind of like, you're overweight, you see yourself, you don't feel good, you don't look good. It's like, shut up, would you? I know. And I know that my mother loves me. All parents, regardless of what happened, they love their children unconditionally, but it's when you're in the thick of that, you don't want to hear that. It's like, go away. And she would give me the Women's Day magazines or this diet or this health. You know what? I get it. And I would buy those books. Mm-hmm. I still have some of those books. I think I traded them here. And I would read them, but I wasn't ready to do it. Even my sister's wedding, I didn't buy the outfit for her wedding till, the week before. I knew I was heavy. I wasn't ready. And then when Chris and I did that show and I watched the replay, I was horrified. I think I called you first and then you. And here we are today. But I think when you are ready, something goes off. So even though you loved and cared about me, and I appreciate that, it was just like, will you shut up, lady?
And that's Deb, normal interaction.
Very normal, and particularly, come your mom, it's like you're a grown-up and your mom's trying to tell you what to do or how to do it and offering suggestions. Mm-hmm. And you weren't ready, and it's your journey. Mm-hmm. And when you are ready, then you will pick up your journey and march along with it. And it took that moment for you to see yourself on the video with Chris, for you to say, and something snapped then and said, I can't do this anymore. Mm-mm. You saw yourself in pictures from 7 months ago. Wedding, yeah. And when we're not ready to look, we put a blind eye up and say, oh, well, I had a pretty dress on, and we do things like that. But you weren't ready to confront this and to really make changes. And so, we're put in positions that help us to along that journey so that we can say, oh, okay, now I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Now I can do this. And no matter how many Women's Day magazines you handed her and how many books you suggested, until she was ready, nothing was going to work.
How does Eileen deal with it? How does a parent deal with it, a loved one, a spouse who has that, I want to help them, I want them to see, I want them to be ready now. How can we handle that?
As a mom and as a spouse or someone that loves you, we have to be quiet. We have to be supportive. We have to let you know that we're concerned for you. First of all, we love you. We're concerned for you, and she wants you to be around for a long time, and not have to help you if you have to have knee replacement or anything like that. So, but still. You have to do it gently, and with love and with all the love in your heart of, you're my daughter, I love you so much, I just want the best for you.
Would that sound different to you? Would that appeal to you, or would you still say, I'm not ready yet? I mean,
You know, it's very hard to answer that because as we're talking and I'm sitting here thinking back, on some of like my eating binges, I truly feel that obesity, depending on how you got there, it's an addiction. I was addicted to food, and I have to control it. What do they go? I'm a foodaholic or whatever. And when you're in that, whether it's coming from you, my husband, whoever, you don't want to hear it. And it's kind of like we will say whatever it will take to, yeah, Mom, I'm doing it today. Like my smoking.
She would yes me to death.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I got the patch on, Mom, as I'm
keeps
sitting there
quiet.
smoking,
Right.
So when you're in the thick of it, but when she talked to me, oh, this is on Channel 12 or this book or this, I did look at those things. Like, it's not like it always went in one ear and out the other ear. You have to be in that place to want it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want this weight gain. I don't ever want to be at the weight that I was at. Just the 12 pounds to somebody that may be, wow, whoopee-doo, 12 pounds. To me, it's huge.
It is
My
huge.
knees don't hurt anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking. I feel great. But when you're in the thick of that, you don't want to hear it.
How do you help people, Deb, who are in the thick of addictions and they're in a bad place and they can't get ready? Let's talk about that. The people who can't. There's a lot of people who can't. They can't get themselves. They know they should do it. You knew you should be healthier.
Absolutely.
You knew that you shouldn't be eating the
Mhm.
chocolate snacks and the cookies and the cakes and the
And the
pies
ice
at 10
cream.
o'clock at night. You knew that, but you still, because it made you feel,
Mhm.
it gave you a feeling, which is what
Mhm.
you were addicted to, the feeling that you get from the food.
And what I do is I ask people why, what is that inside of you that's hurting so much that you're covering up with food or whatever that addiction might be.
A lot of it, the bulk of my weight gain, like it really picked up after my dad died. And I know I can't use that as an excuse, but that's truly when I put
That's
at least a good 100 pounds on.
That's not unusual. You were feeding your hurt.
And, I guess it made me feel good. But then the flip side of that was, okay, I was feeding my hurt. I was eating, okay? But then I'm going to use you as an example. But, here's my mom, who I lost my dad. She lost her husband. She didn't gain weight. Do you know what I mean? Maybe she internalized it. Who knows? But I guess that was my reaction to my circumstance at the time.
And everybody copes differently. So
Mhm.
for you,
Yes.
It was my coping
the
mechanism.
coping was the food. The food makes you feel good, even though it's
Mhm.
temporary. People who drink, the drink makes them feel
Mhm.
good, even though it's temporary. People who do
Mhm.
drugs, same thing. It's a temporary fix to a long-term
Yes.
problem.
Mhm.
So what I would do is that now, with someone, with Lisa who was mourning her father's death, let's mourn his death and not cover up those feelings.
Mhm.
Feelings are there to be expressed, to let go. And, sometimes we don't feel like we can cry or whatever we can do, or we have to be strong for somebody else, like for your mom. And so you just keep eating just to give you that that
Mhm.
strength that you're looking for. So we try to get to the bottom of the feelings and what's going on in your life, and then help you heal from that so you can let go of the addiction to food or whatever's going on in your, whatever you're using.
So it's the underlying feelings you have to go to. So whether it's eating or whatever addiction someone has, it's really getting in and
Yes,
zeroing
it
in
is.
on what does that thing that you're doing give you? What is that feeling that it's giving you?
Right.
And why do you need it?
And to understand that it's temporary. It's not helping with whatever is going on in your life. It's just not going to do it for you. You have to confront those feelings. You have to work with someone, or your priest or whomever you want to go to, life coach, and to help you overcome those feelings and to heal what's going on in your life. One of the things I wanted to show you is it's called a ladder of emotions. And when you're trying to heal your life, if you're down here in guilt and grief and apathy, and then all the emotions that go with it are like worry, regret, blame, humiliation, you are not going to be able to get up to a place of courage to start to heal your life and to start making the changes until you start to confront these emotions and release them and let them go. And this is a measured scale of emotions done by Dr. David Hawkins, and each emotion's measured at a certain level. And you want to raise your, it's raising your energy level, raising your vibrational level, so that you can get to this place of courage. And I'd say you are absolutely at that place of courage to take on this journey.
And some people say to me, I'm sitting there looking at this list, and some people, you're talking about raising your vibration, they'll say, well, you're a Reiki master. You help all these other people. Sometimes you can't help yourself.
No, you can't.
And you have to, I meditate, I Reiki every day, but when you're in the thick of it, you can't even explain it.
Right. It's a very weird feeling. And I was just thinking of that yesterday when I had the cancer issue in my head. I couldn't pray for myself. It was so weird. It was a weird feeling. I can pray for everybody. I can start the prayer groups. I can do the chains. But I was in this feeling. I was like, I can't even pray. I don't know how to pray for myself. I don't even know. So when you're in it, it's a very odd feeling when you're the one who's there.
And I'm sure, too, like for my mom, being concerned and worried about me. She probably wanted to beat the shit out of me. Like, why isn't she listening to me? Like this. But
that's true.
You do.
I do.
See, I know.
We're gonna get back to the frustrations of parents.
But it's and I'm sorry that I put you through that. But like you say, the horse is dead, dismount.
Right. That's your line with the horse is dead, dismount. Which is your other way of saying get over it. Get over it, Lisa. I've heard her say that to you a couple times. Come on, Lisa, get over it. The horse is dead, dismount. I've never heard that before you said it. So let's talk about the frustration again as a parent. Some ideas when you say you're telling her be nice and act concerned and say I love you, Lisa. Like that's not gonna work. We know it's not gonna work.
It's more like
you want to shake them. You want to shake sense into them, especially people with with addictions. A lot of parents are struggling with their children, with teens with addiction.
Right.
What can they do?
It still goes back to the love. It goes back to being kind, loving, and supportive. Acknowledge her for being, for being a great daughter.
The good things that she does.
The good things that she does, absolutely.
But then you got to slide in the however, and you really
that's how she does it.
I know
that's how she does it.
But
that's what we want to do, right?
No.
You're beautiful, but if you could just lose 10 more pounds,
because you're an adult.
I know, Mom.
You're an adult, and and it's so hard sometimes as a mom to remember this is your adult daughter. After she became 18, she became that adult, and you're always going to be the mom, and you're always going to be there for her. But you have to let her make the choices herself.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy.
I know.
Well, they tell me a lot. My other children tell me as well. And believe me, children,
now
I hear you
that
loud
they're
and clear.
watching, tell me who your favorite daughter is.
All of them are.
They're all my favorite. They're all my favorite. Go ahead, Eileen.
I made me lose my train of
Oh,
thought.
sorry.
What you tell them?
What you tell all your children?
Well, besides the fact that I love you. Oh, they say to me, let us be adults.
That's exactly it.
And, and then I step back and I say, they're right. And I just put it in the Lord's hands. Now, I know this will work this time because
she's on TV every week.
Well, right.
Well, she wants
different.
it.
She wants it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that God has a plan, and I'm strong in my faith, and that, I did say, okay, just let go and let God, because I can't consume myself with worrying about
That's exactly what I wanted to get to. What does it do to the parent, Deb, who gets consumed, and then what happens? You get upset.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to affect your health.
It eats you up. And
it
then
literally
finally,
eats you up.
I just say, just let it be. If I trust in the Lord, and I say that I do, it'll happen. And so He's in the Lord's time. I'm not making this a religious show or anything, but
that's your faith.
That's your faith.
It happened, and I truly believe it's going to work because I have to thank you. I can't thank you enough because
it wasn't me. It was the show.
Well, you're a blessing to all who know you. I mean,
Oh, you're so
you
sweet.
put this on every week, and it's a lot of effort. Your husband helps you and whatnot. And you and all the others that have helped her. I mean, how blessed you are
I know.
that she's getting all this help.
So she won't let us down.
What a gift it is.
Because you want,
And
but you want it.
one, I want it, and two, just the immense support, and
Which
some
is
people-
important. So
it
you
is,
you
but-
feel support. Not
and
everybody
the
has
things
that.
that I've learned, I know that if you have a bad day, you have people to lean back on. But just what I've learned from Deb, the life coach, my tasty cake experience with Barb, with Jason. Not only did Jason do acupuncture for the hunger, Jason also did a grief treatment for me, which I really think started, I said to you at the beginning of this year, this is the year for me. And I've had Reiki from, Denise, and I think those things falling into place just kind of propelled me to where I am. And, like I was saying to you both earlier, like when my one sister called me today and I said, you don't owe me an explanation for anything, you're an adult. And it's true, like I'm practicing what I'm learning.
Yes.
And I'm finding this newfound freedom.
What's the freedom feel like?
I don't have to be accountable really to anybody but myself, and of course my husband. But if I don't want to do something, that's my choice.
Yes.
It's up to me. Do I want to, continue on this obesity run and kill myself? Or it's up to me. We have those choices every day. And I never want to go back. Those 12 pounds are like gone. I'm happy it stopped when it did. I have a lot to learn yet. I have a very long way to go. But just the things that I've learned, the tools that were given to me in this short amount of time are unbelievable.
And just remember always that you have a choice.
Yes, you have these tools in your toolbox, and you have a choice. And, let's just say I did want to eat a tasty cake or go off my diet. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
It's me.
With every choice comes a consequence. So
That's right.
You know what that consequence will
And
be.
I don't.
Why do some people, though, take knowing it's a bad consequence, Deb, why do people still make a bad choice?
Because they're living in that place of shame and guilt, and they don't know how to get out of it. You are very fortunate that you have a support system that is helping you along with this journey, and that is the key. Is as a mom, you offer the support and step back and let others help. And until someone's ready, there's not much you can do other than.
And that's the toughest thing.
That is the
as
toughest
a parent
thing.
to sit back, especially
Mhm.
parents with children who have major issues. It's hard to sit back and just wait until they're ready. So you can pray, and I think
Yes.
prayer is wonderful, but it's also a coping skill because sometimes you have to just give it to your faith and like instead of just saying, okay, I'm not going to worry about it. You can't. It's hard to do that. It's hard to just say, I'm not going to worry about it. You have to say, God, it's in your hands, because then that at least makes you feel like you have some control. I gave it to God. So, and it's a very powerful,
Because
very powerful.
worrying doesn't change anything.
Worrying's
The
not
other
gonna-
thing is releasing your control, releasing your feeling like you need to control.
I'm a control freak mom. I am definitely, my children, if you're watching, they all know. I have to, and to step back, I've learned to step back and say, they're adults. They're 29 and 30 years old. I can't make their. Well, what do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do about that?
As
Let go.
children, as our adult children, this is their journey. They've been put on this earth for a purpose and for their journey. And if we step in as parents and try to maneuver that and manipulate it, then it disempowers you, and it takes away the lessons that you could learn.
It disempowers the child.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the mom feels powerful.
But it's a false power.
So we feel like we're in control, and I'm going to give her the Woman's Day book, and I'm going to tell her to turn on it. So you feel, but it's a false power because she's not listening.
It's a false power because she's not in control. Giving you the book or offering, hey, there's a great show on, that's helpful. But but trying to, like if you're going out to a restaurant together and Lisa decides she wants to eat some pasta, if you want to say, you shouldn't be eating that now. That's not good for you. You shouldn't be eating that. You want to turn that around and say, well, you've been doing so well. Are you sure that's the choice you want to make today?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than berating, and because that just doesn't do any good, and it makes the person move towards what you want them to not move towards.
And I don't think I ever berated you, did I?
No,
I did get over it.
You always, all mothers, all kids think their moms, and I know my sisters are there grinning, sometimes mom does have a dude, but even though it came from a place of love, you still feel like, the hell? Like, I know, shut up.
Give me a muzzle for Christmas.
No, even though we know it's from, she means it in a good way, as all parents do. But think about it. If you're sitting there and, somebody, like you just said, you really shouldn't be eating that. But, well, you already know that. You know what I mean? It's like putting salt on my wound. Like,
But if she said it the other way, the way Deb said, like you've been...
If she were to say that, or any parent, I think I would stop.
Okay.
And think.
Can you repeat what you said, Deb? You said, you've been doing so well.
Right.
Are you sure you want to eat that pasta?
I think that would, stop somebody in their tracks.
But it gives you a choice. Like,
that's right.
Do you feel that... It sounds like she's giving you a choice. Do you feel like that would be her giving you a choice?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like, I think because, you know what? You never know what's going on in someone's day. So maybe I'm having a bad day, and we go out, and let's just say, oh, I'm going to eat that pasta. And I order it, and if she keeps her mouth shut, it's not helping me. It's not hurting me. Well, it is hurting me, but if she were to say it, like, do you realize what you just ordered? Or, with a question, I think you have to answer that question, rather than make a statement that I interpret as negative.
You really shouldn't eat that.
And you'd say, yeah, I know what and you'd have that spaghetti right in my face.
We'll work on this whole mother-daughter
See, this is
relationship.
Lisa and Eileen's version of Jerry Springer.
What is your observation of how they showed their love for one another?
We do love each other.
I would.
Isn't every family dysfunctional?
Yes, they are. That's why there are life coaches to help out.
I would recommend
Counseling.
Free life coaching right here.
Okay, let me rephrase this. When you speak in a negative way, like earlier you said, before we started taping, you said something about, yeah, I'm going to kill you. Well, and I know,
even though she's joking.
I know you're joking, I know you're teasing, but it's a vibrational thing. It's an energy thing that what you put out, the mind doesn't know. The mind doesn't know that you're joking. Lisa may know that you're joking, but in her mind, that's like a jab. And so, and it's particularly important with the journey that she's on right now, to be as gentle and nurturing as possible.
I'm going to hold that over your head.
And
you say, Mom, that's not very gentle now.
It's equally as important for you to not hold it over her head. But, seriously, it is, it helps create a more authentic relationship between the two of you.
I heard you too when they were, what did you say out like, get out of the car, Mom, I need to smoke. You like throwing her out. So her mind thinks, oh, my daughter's throwing me out, rejecting me. So bad vibrational
No, because
energy.
when she gets in my car, she's like, oh, God, I'm dying.
Well, that's the next thing we're going to work on, Lisa, right, Eileen?
So, and again, like, she knows I smoke. Okay, everybody knows I smoke.
You did stop for a day.
A day. Every time she gets in my car, and we laugh about it, but I know, Mom, but we do.
See, I'm coughing down. Black lung.
See, karma.
You're killing me, Lisa. So what can she do about that, Deb?
Well, you know that she smokes. And right now she's on a weight loss journey. And so I would say leave her alone about the smoking.
Oh, Deb, you go, girl.
Notice I said right now.
For 2 more weeks.
You only can do one thing at a time. So this is the important thing that can be covered later. And so she smokes. And so you don't need to say anything. You don't need to, yeah, her car smells like smoke, but it's her car. And
So we have to learn as parents to be quiet,
to be respectful.
and quiet. That means be quiet. That's a hard thing to do.
And when you're ready to smoke and she's in the car,
I don't smoke in the car with her.
or when
she throws her out.
before you kick her out of the car, you can say, Mom, could you get out of the car now because I'm going to smoke? I need to have a smoke right now.
And then you can't say, oh, Lisa.
And Mom's going to say, okay, dear.
This is your challenge for the week, Mom. This is your challenge for she has to walk 5 times and you have to say, okay, dear. My husband has that down pat. Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
I'll practice. My other children are going to be getting ideas now.
Uh-oh.
You're in trouble.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's much more empowering than saying, get out of the car, I'm going to smoke, and I'm choking in this darn car.
But let's talk about, now let's just go back to Eileen for a second, because I'm identifying with the parent role. So inside, now she's holding inside all of her frustration. She's going to have problems with her throat chakra because she's holding back. How can she be sure that doesn't happen to her energy field?
By releasing it. I mean, you speak very highly of your spiritual practices. You release it to God. You don't need to say anything to Lisa about smoking or eating or whatever. She knows. She knows that's the next step on the healthy journey. But right now, there's only one step at a time. And have faith that she's handling this well.
Oh, I know she. I'm proud of her.
Thank you.
I'm proud of all my children. She's doing
Very good. So for Eileen not to get frustrated, though, she just needs to let it go.
Release it, vent to a friend.
Vent to a friend.
Go.
Yeah.
Focus on what she is doing now.
So focus on the positive.
Focus absolutely on the positive.
Don't hold it in so much that you get frustrated, because the minute you feel yourself getting frustrated, you have to release that, because you need to have that inner freedom. She has an inner freedom. You have that feeling, which is your ultimate goal in life: inner peace, inner happiness, inner freedom. When you have that, it feels good, right? You want to give that to yourself. Like, you don't have to control all the time. You don't have to. It's okay. You did your job. You gave birth. You have wonderful children. To let go of that is probably the toughest thing I think a parent has to do.
It's actually very rewarding and enriching to be able to step back from your children's lives and let them create their life, but knowing they know that you're there so that they can fall back on you when they need you.
Well, I may have to be put in restraints, but I think I can do it.
And it's tough, and some days you just are like, oh my God, how do I phrase this? But it empowers your children to make the choices, and it gives them the opportunity to know and to trust that you are always going to be there as that soft place for them to fall if they need it.
And you know that about your mom.
Oh, absolutely.
She's always there.
Yes.
And you can depend on her. You just don't want her to be at you, just like any other child of a parent doesn't want that, but you know she's there, and that's unconditional love.
And I think, too, a lot of people in my situation, regardless of their addiction, you have somebody hounding you. And it puts, my mom in a bad place. It puts me in a bad place. So nobody won,
You don't both want to leave a situation and feel angry, resentful, frustrated. So in order to get rid of all of those emotions and to vibrate higher, Deb, what would you say? Eileen needs to, or any parent needs to, just pull back, accept them for who they are.
Absolutely.
Accept that they're on their journey. And as the child, understand that they're just doing it out of love. It's just because they care.
As you build relationships of trust, and knowing that you can go to whomever and they will give you objective opinions. They will talk to you as an adult, not as your child. And when you can do that, it empowers the relationship so much more. As a for instance, my daughter must call me, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week with something. You know, she got a new baby, and what do you do with this? How do I do with that? What do you think? And I give her suggestions. And every once in a while, just the other day I said, okay, I've got to pull the grandmother card now. Here's what I think. This is what you need to do. But I have to be very careful how I say things so that I don't make her feel like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing with this kid. I'm a bad mother. Mm-hmm. You want to empower your children. You want to empower anybody that you're talking to make the best decisions that they can, in the best way that they can. And that goes.
That sounds like a great workshop. How to empower your children, because no one teaches us how to do that.
No, they don't.
They don't. So there's your next workshop.
There we go.
how to empower your children. Mm-hmm. That would be a great parenting.
Okay.
I'll sign up. I'm bad. I'm bad at that. So, what do you think?
I think this is good, and I think that, my experience, when we did this show, this was not just about me. It was to help other people. Mm-hmm. And I think that this was good to bring Mama on, because we are not the only people in this situation. And I am blessed that my mom and I and my siblings, we have a very good relationship. We love each other. But what we have gone through, many other people have gone through it.
Absolutely.
And some people don't have the support of a parent. Somebody might be out there saying, well, I wish I had a mom or dad who cared about me. You just call my mother.
She needs a new project.
Because my mom is that caring person. But again, when
we have to get you back on Facebook, Eileen, so you can need the support.
Yeah.
Ask
but when
Eileen.
you're in that, yes.
Ask Eileen. You have your own page.
And I do want to talk about the page. I know a lot of you are on the journey. I don't know if you're afraid to share on the page. I see your progress. They've reached out, shared with me. Don't be afraid. That's your page to share on.
Right. And if you are afraid, just private message Lisa.
Yeah,
and it's
do.
Lisa or I posting on the page as Journey with Lisa. You can usually tell when it's you.
Yeah.
When it's me, it sounds more, not as personal as when you're saying where you're going and walking. That's Lisa. So please private message if you need some support. And as far as Deb Trey, she is our life coach here at R3 Wellness Center, and your first session is free with Deb. So it's a get-to-know session, see if life coaching is for you, and then she has payment plans and things that we can work out to help you if you don't have that support, or if you're a parent who is struggling with any kind of issues on the home front or spouses, relationships of any kind. You're here to help. And
Absolutely.
Anything with yourself. If you don't have that inner happiness, if you can't look in the mirror and say, I love myself, I'm happy with myself, it is something that needs work, because you don't want to end up in depression and sadness and the things that will begin to build. And I know that becomes a lot of people's issue over time. And we see what just happened with Robin Williams. And we're here to help, and we don't want anyone to feel that if you can't afford it, whatever, just contact us. And I'm going to be announcing some very exciting news very soon about the ability to help those who are not able to pay for services. So that'll come maybe by next week. I'm hoping we have some good news there. So any questions that you have, any more suggestions that you can give or you need from Deb? Any questions in the chat room? How about here? Anyone having issues? Yes, we have a question.
How do you explain to a parent that, because I have that, my husband, his father is on him all the time about his weight, and it actually has pushed him away from his father.
Of course, and we see that happen, right?
And has made him eat more.
Yes.
Okay.
And he will never tell his father that that's bothering him.
Okay. So
that would be the first thing, is he has to tell his father.
Is that something I can talk to his father about, or is that something he needs to
That would be between you and your husband. If you would ask your husband, can I tell your dad that this really is affecting you, and he needs to back off. And you can, do it in a very kind, way of, I know that you're concerned about your son, but this is, your pushing is not helping him.
And it's actually hurting.
It's hurting, and I totally understand that because, like Mom, coming from that place, sometimes it's just like, especially if you're in a bad mood or you don't want to hear it, you do want to eat more.
Because it makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you feel better. So the anger, so you feel angry, you feel frustrated, you eat, makes you feel good, even if it's for 20 minutes or an hour.
That's right.
And that's
You
what people are
get that
doing.
high.
They're feeding,
Yes.
they're eating, they're doing drugs, they're drinking because it makes them feel good even for that time. Or it's an escape.
Yes.
It's an escape from frustration. It's an escape from a situation. You don't want to hear somebody anymore, or you don't want to hear yourself, or you can't deal with yourself. There's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Too, as a parent, I mean, it's your child, and you
want to
feel
help.
like you have to be their savior. That you brought them into this world. You want to help them.
Maybe you can have him watch the show.
Honestly, I actually thought about
Yeah.
And
It'll be
the
it'll
other
be
thing
recorded.
too is, for me, and one of the things I've learned in my sessions with Deb, and it was kind of awkward at first, but like, speak your piece. It's for me, it's releasing. Like saying to my sister today, you don't owe me an explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You're an adult. The first couple times you do it, the father may be offended, but you know what? At least your husband has started to stand his own ground, and that's the first step. And when your husband is ready, then he will start his journey. But no amount of badgering is going to do it.
But as a parent, the father's intention is, you need to do it. You need to do it. He's caring. He's thinking that that's his way of showing his love, Deb. Right.
Right.
Yes.
That's the same thing Eileen felt, that she loves you. She wants something better for you, and she wants to convince you.
Because you feel if you don't say something, you're
not doing your job.
Right.
Yeah. You're not doing your job.
You
And
just
I
have to
think
know, like you said,
it's the
when to
way
step
in which
back
you say
and
it.
the way it's presented.
And I've got some handouts that I'm going to give you both, and I've got a few, here also.
Okay.
So if anyone here wants,
Maybe we
a
can
handout.
post them on the page too. We'll make
Yep.
some photos of them.
And so it will help you in nurturing and growing the relationship.
So our job as
I
parents.
love you.
Oh, I love you.
Love. So our job as parents is to nurture and grow a relationship, and then the other side of it, as a child, to nurture and grow that relationship. Don't push them away.
Right, and speak your truth, and that would be for your husband, is to have him speak his truth, and that could be one of the things that's pushing him towards food, is because he feels like he can't speak whatever is the truth is with his father.
And I don't think he ever has. I mean, that goes back to more than.
Sure, of course.
He is, he yeses his dad to death for
Because
everything.
he's afraid of his father's reaction.
Right.
Yes.
He's letting his father have control.
Yes.
Right. And his father still is having control because he's eating more. It's kind of like he still doesn't even have control of his emotion.
Yeah.
So
And if I could say, I don't like to be yes to death, because I would say to her, stop yesing me.
Oh, she
Oh, it
would.
drives my father-in-law absolutely insane.
Just tell me the truth, because sometimes if you don't hear how they're feeling, she would just yes me to death all the time. So
And you don't know
And then
what's going
sometimes
on.
I would explode
Right.
and say things I can't say on TV. But
And sometimes you don't know what your feelings are.
no.
That's a lot of it, is you don't know what you're feeling to be able to express it. You just know that there's something deep inside of you that's gnawing at you, that's making you miserable, but you have no words for it. So you can't express it.
because I was feeling insulted, because I thought, I know she's just yesing me to death. So,
So now do you understand a little bit better where she was trying to be ready, she wasn't ready, and it's not that your mom didn't love you, and it's not that she didn't, you didn't love each other, it's just you got to be ready, you got to journey.
And these tips are excellent. Like, you don't know, so
Good.
can get them
Definitely,
out
this
there.
has
to-
just been
you
a
know.
whole new experience. And even too, every day is not perfect for me. The past couple days, we all know, I've said, I'm going through that perimenopause. I'm like ready to gouge everybody's eyes out. And my husband just told me again tonight, I am so sorry. And he just, but at least I can now admit my feelings and say, this is what I'm feeling. And two, this journey, even if you go back, sometimes I go back and watch from week 1 to where I am today, not just what I look like, but just where I've come from and grown. And other people have said to me, you know, I missed the show and I start watching it week 1, and just the things that they've learned and put into practice.
Absolutely.
It does work, and we're all here to support each other. I've made some wonderful friends through the journey with Lisa Gage.
And we want to be that support system for anyone else who's through the journey.
Absolutely. We're not here to do this alone. We can't do it alone.
No.
And I think to ask for help, you know, no matter whether you're listening to your favorite person on a CD, you've got to have help with this, you know. And we're not an island.
And you know, when I do my walk, I don't put the earbuds in and listen to music. I actually use that time to reflect on my day. You know, what changes could I have made today? You know, it's just like my time to do my prayers, my whatever's on my mind.
And how long is that taking you, your walk, would you say?
I'm stretching a little first, then I'm doing my walk. I think my 0.40, and that was up a hill last night, was like 8 minutes, maybe, something like that. And the only reason I'm doing it, you know, like Dale had, you know, start pushing it, and I am a little each night. Someone going from being the weight I was to never exercising, sitting at a desk all day, like, that was huge.
Right.
And the first time I went out, I did a mile, and I was in pain for days.
Right.
But now
Too much
slowly
too
increasing it.
Right.
Right.
It doesn't take long. 8 minutes,
No.
start to finish.
No,
Probably
and now I'm going to
everything
start
15, 20 minutes. So give yourself that gift of the time each day, even if it's even nice to walk when it's dark out too. You know what I mean?
Well, I do
Just
want
get a
to
little
say
flashlight.
something about that. I live in a condo complex, which is very safe. But last night I was walking, and Rich was out. He was on call. So I left a note. I went walking at this time. And, you know, I was walking back, and I'm coming up the hill, and, you know, that sixth sense kicked in, and I felt somebody was behind me. And I literally, 360, and there was a man 2 steps behind me. And I didn't hear him, but, like, I just could feel. I mean, right behind, and I looked at him. I said, oh, out for a walk. And I made him, like, move over. But I thought, you know, why the heck would somebody be walking? You know, and granted, you just don't know who's out there. I'm sure the man was probably harmless. Let's hope so. But just, you know, it was a reminder to me. So now I'm going to take a flashlight when I walk, regardless of where you are.
One of those big, long handle black ones. So you can turn around and
let
whack
somebody know, and turn the GPS on your phone or something. But it just kind of
You always want to
startled
be
me.
safe, yeah. Probably wouldn't
Like,
want to
right
walk in
there.
the dark by yourself.
Yeah, like if you're walking, maybe you want to walk around, or certainly he was, you know.
Right. Be careful. Don't walk in the dark. Then.
Yeah.
So we are. Any other questions? Are we good? Okay.
I want to announce my challenge winner.
Your challenge. Okay, but
Yeah.
I have a new challenge for you for this week. Come on, Eileen.
When do I
So
get
I
a
was
break?
thinking this
No.
morning. There's no break. There's no break. So I was thinking this morning, and I don't even know. We've never talked about this. Do you like to dance?
Well,
Those eyes say no.
I know I do like to move to the music,
Yes.
but I've never really tried it because, you know, I'm overweight.
Okay.
You don't want to, you know, you're embarrassed to
Okay.
put yourself out there.
Okay.
You were dancing at your sister's wedding.
Well, I had
saw
some
you.
drink in me, but.
So this morning I heard Taylor Swift has a new song, and it's called "Shake It Off."
Mhm.
It is a cool song. Has anybody heard it yet? It just was like released today. So download that song. It's available today on iTunes, and it has such a great beat. And I thought this morning, I put it on when I'm getting ready for work. I'm in the shower. I have music in there, and I just keep moving, you know, while I'm in the bathroom. But even if you just put on 20 minutes of music and just moved
Shake it
around,
off.
so that you don't have to walk, or if it's raining.
Mhm.
But it's called "Shake It Off" is the song. But put together maybe an iPod of music that you can move to
Okay.
in the house on the days that you're not walking.
Okay.
How many times do you think you can do that? Dance for like 15 minutes.
I can do that.
Twice a
I
week?
try to move. You know, I'm trying to get in that habit. Like tonight, I thought, how am I going to walk tonight? I have the show by the time I get home. So yeah, this
Put on
is
your
to
favorite
make a-
CD or whatever, but try that song, Shake It Off. I thought that would be cool for
Okay.
you to do.
Taylor
Shake
Swift.
it off. Shake off the
I'll show you
weight.
my moves next week.
Yeah, we'll see the moves. And
I thought you were going to make me take a dance lesson.
no.
I
I just want you to
free
freeform to feel good about just moving your body. And tomorrow night you have?
We have yoga. I had originally thought of the name Yoga for Round People, and there has been some feedback on that. So,
Some people thought we were discriminating against square people.
we're not discriminating.
We're not discriminating
I
against
said
anybody.
in the show last week, my intent was not to offend anyone, but being someone who is overweight, walking into a room, and this is not to offend skinny people because I'm going to be one of you one day, we can easily be intimidated because we're not as flexible. We don't have that body. So I had called it Yoga for Round People. So I'm getting some flack. So if you can think of a name, please post it on our Facebook page, and we will have a drawing. Please put your names in for the name of a yoga class. We want to incorporate everyone, but I don't want to push off someone who is overweight, who is afraid to come out. Tomorrow will be my very first time doing yoga.
Cool. You're going to love it.
So I'm excited.
And we have openings. We have plenty of openings.
And I did put on the Facebook page, I try to put little challenges out there for free things. I think I put guess what time it is, and we'll do a drawing for yoga class tomorrow night. 2 people responded, both of which I don't think are local, but Cheryl and Colleen, you are welcome to come out, and if you'd like to yoga with us tomorrow, it will be on me. But please come out with me. Don't let me be alone tomorrow night.
And that's 7 o'clock. And if you are used to doing yoga, you can come to our regular class, which is 5:45 to 6:45 Monday and Wednesdays. This is going to start out, and we'll see if you can do it twice a week or not. Or right now it's just going to be Wednesday nights. And there's no yoga next week because our instructor is on vacation. So you have a whole week to
I mean,
relax your
skinny
muscles.
people can come.
Anyone
They
can come.
teach us a thing or two, and
Anything.
then
It's
we can
not
show
about,
them.
but it's not about body size. Yoga
No.
is about
But I
tuning into
simply
your
called
body.
it that because I
Right.
didn't want people who are like me to be afraid to come out. So if anyone was offended, my sincere apologies. And please help me think of a name and post it on the webpage.
Thank you. So thank you everyone for joining us. We're ready to sign off here. Thank you, Deb, very much.
Thank you.
Eileen, thank you so
Mom.
much.
Thank you. Deb.
And
Thank you.
Lisa, thank you very much. So good night from R3 Wellness Center and Journey with Lisa.